We've been talking, and indeed we're just hearing from the Canadian and German leaders about severe, swift, sharp sanctions that Western nations have leveled on Russia from outside. But there are other economic pressures on Russia that big international companies are applying from inside the country. Social media companies, automakers, food processors, restaurant chains, severing ties, closing up shop. And Hilary Johnstone is on that story in Ottawa. Hilary, the list of companies now into the hundreds.
More than 300 now, Heather. And today, the latest company to announce is the Dutch beer maker Heineken, saying that it's immediately halting all of its production and advertising in Russia. And there has been mounting pressure on companies to do something in the wake of this Russian aggression in Ukraine. Now, McDonald's is probably one of the bigger companies to announce that it was going to be temporarily closing all 847 of its restaurants. McDonald's first opened in Russia in 1990. There are now 60,000 employees who have been sent home with pay. After McDonald's made that announcement, we then saw a number of other companies come out and announce similar things, including Starbucks, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, KFC and Pizza Hut as well. And then, of course, it's not just restaurants and food makers. We're hearing from companies such as Canada Goose and Canadian Tire. Shopify has also announced that it's going to be suspending its operations in both Russia and Belarus, and it's going to be taking away fees for its Ukrainian clients in solidarity with what has been happening in that country. And what we are hearing from analysts, from experts, is that it's going to be really interesting to see how ordinary Russians respond to all of this. The fact that one day they can go in, they can grab a Starbucks, they can go to McDonald's, and now they can't. Here's some of what we've been hearing.
It's really been extraordinary when you look across the last 2 weeks, the degree of coordination and unified action that we've been seeing.
Normally, companies don't abandon significant investments very quickly. Usually there's reluctance to, for instance, diminish your brand value in a sizable country like Russia.
So, Heather, that pressure keeps growing. And what the other thing that we're hearing from experts is that there's going to be growing backlash against companies that maybe don't act quite as quickly as some of the other ones.
And despite those very active campaigns on social media and elsewhere, there are major companies which are not closing down. Which are some of those, Hilary?
Burger King would be one example, and what we've heard from the Toronto-based owner is that all of those 800 stores, Burger King franchises in Russia, that they are independently owned and operated. We've also heard from the fast clothing giant Uniqlo, that Japanese company, that it's not going to be stopping. It says, according to its CEO, because it believes that clothing is a necessity of life. We've also heard something similar from the big French yogurt maker, Danone, saying that it's going to be stopping some parts of its operation, but it will continue to sell bottled water and baby formula, making that sort of thing available to all Russians.
Hilary, thank you very much. Definitely a story to keep an eye on. That is Hilary Johnstone in Ottawa.